for giving the lecture and celebrating the National Maritime Day today in the Institution of Engineers and Tamil Nadu State Center. National Maritime Day celebrated annually in India on April 5 honors those who spend months at the sea and contributing to the India's trade. It also commemorates the inaugural voyage of the first Indian-owned ship, and this year the Government of India will celebrate the National Maritime Day alongside the Merchant Navy Week from March 30th to April 5. The National Maritime Day offers an opportunity to emphasize the role of maritime industry in India's economic growth and highlights the sacrifice of seafarers who not only run the trade but also partake in national security by deterring pirate attacks. On this occasion, today we have our chief guest, Dr. Captain Suresh Bhardwaj for celebration and acting as a chief guest and giving the lecture on the occasion of National Maritime Day. On going through the profile, I can very happy to say he is the member in Executive Council and Board of Research, Indian Maritime University, Chennai, and member in Board of Management, Gujarat Maritime University, and member Advisory Board of Experts, Soundboard International Maritime Academy, Denmark, and editor IEI Journal of Maritime Research and Development. It goes on. I'm very happy to mention here that he has been received the highest award, that recognized and awarded for outstanding contribution to the maritime education and training. And he has a lot of certification. The important certification I can mention here is Energy Audit Management and Associate Environmental Auditor and Lead Auditor. On this occasion, again, I'm happy to mention that he has a lot of obligations and he is the very apt person to celebrate the National Maritime Day on behalf of the Institution of Engineers Tamil Nadu State Center. And once again, I'm very, very happy to invite him on board also. And also I thank our Honorary Secretary, Engineer Gogol, for arranging this wonderful session by heading the Dr. Bhardwaj and all our office staff and the past chairman and all the council members, and past secretary, and all the members and the students who joined here for ready to hear the lectures. And thank you very much, sir, for coming on board for celebration of National Maritime Day. And once again, on behalf of the institution engineers, we are very happy to have with you, and we are ready to hear your lecture, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Karthikeyan.
Thank you.
Sir, I would also like to invite our committee member, Muthuswamy sir, to give a brief introduction about the speaker. Muthuswamy sir.
Maybe he has some difficulty in joining, probably. He was in his farmhouse, he said. But no issues. I think Dr. Karthikeyan has said enough.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
and I would like to first thank in the Institute of Engineers India, Tamil Nadu State Chapter, for most importantly including the National Maritime Day as one of is in your charter as one of the important days in the celebrations of the Institute of Engineers, and giving so much respect to the marine engineers. Thank you very much indeed. And I am very, very privileged to be in this August gathering with people like legendary Dr. Karthikeyan and Mr. Gokul. And I'd like to thank Mr. Muthuswamy for this opportunity. I would like to make a PowerPoint presentation if I can. Yes, I hope you can see this PowerPoint slide on the screen. You will notice that um, we have on the right-hand side the Director General of Shipping, Mr. Jagannathan, and we have the Secretary Shipping, Dr. Ramachandran, and who is handing over a memento to the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, on the occasion of National Maritime Day in the presence of the Chairman of Shipping Corporation of India, Captain Tyagi. And this is on every year. This is done, and particularly with Mr. Modi, given his previous experience in the Gujarat as a state chief minister, his exposure to the shipping industry is very wide, and you see the number of small ports which are there in Gujarat today, which come under the Gujarat Maritime Board, are the most vibrant ports in this country, including Mundra. Mundra is today possibly the biggest port in the country, which has beaten ports like Mumbai and Visakhapatnam in terms of tonnage which is handled there. So this is a momentous occasion, and for the maritime industry, for the PM Modi to be acknowledging the National Maritime Day. And on the left-hand side, you will see the logo of International Maritime Organization. Gentlemen, ladies, International Maritime Organization is a very specialized agency of United Nations, and which is mandated to regulate the global shipping industry. The shipping industry is very global in nature, and it is regulated by the International Maritime Organization. And sustainable shipping is a big agenda for the shipping industry. And I must tell you that way back in 2013, IMO was the first industry sector to mandate a regulation for controlling the greenhouse gas emissions and the climate change. The first industry sector to be responding with a mandatory regulation. It was in 2013 that the shipping industry had something called the Energy Efficiency Design Index, which mandated that every new ship which is being built, for that class and that type of ship, an energy index is defined, and you have to use the technology in such a way that you meet that index. This is from the design perspective. And also from the operation perspective, the research had shown that there is a lot of opportunity to control the greenhouse gas emissions in the normal operation of ships. So there was another regulation for the current ships to be monitoring their GHG emissions by controlling their operations. Simple things like going at slow speed, or research showed that some of the ships can actually save a lot of fuel when they are going down by head rather than a slight trim across the seas. So many such regulations actually came, and the best part of this regulation was that this regulation was mandated in such a way that it is a nudge to the industry. A pressure goes to the industry that you do whatever technology you like, but this is the index you need to reach. And so from that perspective, I must tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that this decade of the 2020s is proving to be a very decisive decade for the decarbonization of the shipping industry. Lot of decisions are being taken in this decade for our future impact and the future performances. Why? Because the IMO has very recently significantly strengthened the ambitions of the international shipping. And they are driving the shipping industry stakeholders to implement the plans now. They have to implement the plan now, which will influence the direction of the decarbonization efforts which are happening in the coming decades. What has happened? Significantly, what has happened? Last year, ladies and gentlemen, the IMO came out with the first revision of its GHG strategy. Earlier, the goal was to reduce 50% GHG reduction by 2020. All right. Now what has happened since last year? This target has been strengthened to net zero by 2020. Net zero by 2020, which means if you take the 2008 as a baseline, the revised strategy is now aiming to reduce the GHG emissions, and that too on a life cycle analysis. What we call in shipping industry as well to wake, from the oil wells to the wake of the thrust of the propeller. The complete life cycle analysis on the GHG emissions by 20% by 2030, 70% by 2040, and a net zero by around 2050. So you can see from this diagram on your screen, the blue line is actually business as usual emissions. The red line is the pathway of the 2018 GHG strategy. But the green line is now in line with the present GHG strategy. And what is important to note, ladies and gentlemen, that this strategy is addressing the life cycle GHG emission, life cycle, where the overall objective is to reduce the GHG emission within the boundaries of the energy system of the international shipping. And it is preventing the shifting of emissions to the other sectors. So if the shipping industry has to achieve this decarbonization goals, it will require a very large scale transition to new fuels, which is already underway. And gentlemen, ladies, let me tell you, the statistic reveals that the shipping industry alone will need 30 to 40% of the estimated global supply of carbon neutral fuels if it is to meet this demand of, on your screen, 17 million tons of oil equivalent per year by 2030, taking into account the IMO's current GHG strategy. So, ladies and gentlemen, time is actually running out as far as the shipping industry's environmental calendar goes. And the global climate emergencies are multiplying, as we can see. And from that perspective, this 61st National Maritime Day is very appropriately themed: sustainable shipping, challenges and opportunities, which is demanding a lot from our industry, from our country's contribution. So first things first, because of these pressures which is coming around to the shipping industry, typically from the IMO as well as the customers of the shipping industry, there is actually too much of what I say greenwashing which is happening. There are people, there are organizations who are actually overstating, even making false, misleading statements about sustainability practices. So ESG, environment, social, governance, these issues holistically are yes. So this is what I was saying, that that though ESG, the ethics and corporate governance are not generally part of the financial indicators for a company, but ESG program ensures accountability, and it manages the company's impact, like its carbon footprints, and how even it treats its employees and the suppliers. So contributing to a broader business sustainability efforts for a long-term success based on corporate management and business strategies is what ESG is all about. So when we talk of the sustainability efforts in shipping industry, sustainability, as we know, is another very, very big word. It is about the ability to meet our current needs without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet theirs. Very, very powerful statement. And I think this would remind you of Greta Thunberg, all of 21 years, who has the guts to go and challenge the world leaders. What are you doing with this environment? And what are you passing on to the future generations? So the focus is on economic, environmental, and social balance. So ESG is a framework which is further refining this concept. It is providing a framework for the businesses to evaluate and improve that impact on the world. And shipping industry is, every big shipping company today has an ESG portfolio. Every big shipping company. So why sustainability is mattering in maritime? You would appreciate, ladies and gentlemen, that shipping is the backbone of the global trade. 90% of the world's trade is transported by sea. And look at the environmental footprint. The shipping industry, is responsible for as much as 3% of the global GHG emissions, which, as compared to the general transportation sector is about 23%. So comparatively, shipping is not much, given the indicator for any transportation industry is grams of CO2 per ton mile. At the end of the day, it is the amount of cargo which is transported in so many miles and so much of weight, that ultimately the grams of CO2 per ton mile is nothing much as compared to the other modes of transport. Be that as it may, it is a safety critical industry. It is an environmentally critical industry. If there is, God forbid, if there is an incident, it makes global news. Whether it is with respect to safety, whether it is with respect to environment, you have oil spills, ballast water contamination. What is this? Typically on bulk carriers, the ship would go to a load port. Let us say from India, we are carrying iron ore to Japan, but many a times there is no return cargo, so the ship has to come empty. And if the ship has to come empty, it is not very stable. So there are tanks in which seawater is pumped in, which is then pumped out in India. So this water which is taken up in Japan, what kind of species it has in the water, And is it safe enough to pump out that water in Indian waters, and will that species gel here, or will they multiply? So there's a lot of issues there with respect to the ballast water and the impact the shipping has on the marine life. And also we are talking about the social and governance front. Let me be open to you, very frank to you. Shipping is a globalized industry. And I think not one of those very responsible globalized industry. It is a worst case scenario where it is possible for somebody to stay in a country and flag out his ship to any of the countries in the world, like Liberia or Panama or even Barbuda, Antigua, which means that your ship is then complying to the regulations of that particular state, which may not be all that good, which then allows you to pick up cheapest crew in the world. It may be very, very expensive to pick to have American crew on board or a British crew on board. But like this, you have the freedom to take on board crew, the cheapest crew which is available. So typically on a ship, you have 5, 6 nationalities. Of course, they are on the support sector, because on the management sector, which demands a lot of skill and knowledge, Indians are the most preferred nationality. But then that puts a lot of stress onto the people, those 20, 30 people who are managing such a big ship. So these social and governance issues are upfront on the shipping industry now. And the push towards cleaner fuel. Yes, shipping was once upon a time using the worst quality of fuel which was available, the heavy oil, but gone are the days with the kind of pressures on the GHG emission which is coming in. And as I said, the regulations from IMO is defining the index for that particular type and class of ship. It is not approving a technology. It is not approving a technology. The industry is free to implement any technology, because we all know that there is always a nexus between the technology manufacturers and the regulator. To negate that thinking, IMO said, no, we will only define a index for you. You are free to adopt any technology. So as a result, there is a lot of research going on, and shipping industry today does not even know what is the future fuel going to be. There is LNG, which has already come in, and there is methanol, which is now coming in. Biofuels have been tried out. Hydrogen is going on. Ammonia is going on. And it is not easy to change fuel. We are talking about the engines. We are talking about the lubricants. We are talking about the supply lines. Oh, it's a big complication out there at this point of time. But a lot of research, a lot of experimentation, as you can see, using of solar, wind power and solar power, and a fully autonomous ship, fully electric ships also are there. Beyond emissions, there are vital environmental impacts. As far as shipping industry is concerned, I've already talked about the ballast water treatment system, where we are talking about transporting seawater from one place to the other place, and how to manage the ballast water. Some people are using filtration, UV light treatment to eliminate this invasive species before the water is discharged, addressing the biodiversity threats. We are also talking about quiet ship design and operation today. The kind of noise which is generated by the propeller underwater, and the kind of effect it may have on the water species. So optimized hull shapes, quieter propulsion. We are also talking about the ports. The ports are now increasingly having these sustainable practices. For example, when the ship goes there, you please switch off your generators, and you will have to take on the shore power supply. And this shore power supply is generated from the non-fossil fuels. And of course, waste management. There are garbage management rules, regulations which are there for the ships, of segregation of garbage and recycling and what you can do. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Now coming on to the social aspect of shipping. We are talking about the empowering of people. Because the seafarers' welfare, there are 1.6 million seafarers who are ensuring this global trade which flows, and marine engineers are at the heart of it. And these social initiatives are now promoting the work culture, the ethics, the connectivity, the health. And increasingly, you will be surprised to know there are a lot of women who are now coming into the maritime sector. Yes, IMO's specific focus on maritime, women in the maritime program is driving the gender balance. And of course, we have the diversity, equality, DEI initiatives already in place, even in the shipping industry. Safety, health, ethics are also a big focus in the shipping industry with HSE standards, green awards, recognizing the ships that exceed the safety and environmental expectations. Upholding the rights of the seafarers, you have the Maritime Labor Convention, which is tackling the forced labor and human trafficking and ensuring ethical practices and fair treatment across the seas. And ladies and gentlemen, mental health has become a big priority in the shipping industry as well, as we know that it is already an industry which is where the people have to go out away from the society. They're living in a small ship with a very less number of crew, isolation. Of course, there is a lot of connectivity on internet, which is available to the crew nowadays. But be that as it may, the stress which is there on from these environmental issues, it may appear to you that a ship is out at sea and nobody is watching and you can do what you like. No way. No way. I have seen the shore industries. I have seen particularly the shore industries very, very closely. I was the chairman of the Environment and Energy Committee of the Madras Madras Commerce and Industry, MCCI. And I was implementing a lot of environmental initiatives and a lot of shore industries ashore. And I can tell you, pathetic as compared to the shipping industry, because there are a whole lot of regulations on monitoring. The global, looking at the governance and the regulatory aspect, the global standards of IMO, which is talking about a net zero to 2050, and the sulfur cap on the fuel at 0.5%. And believe me, there is transparency and accountability through corruption. There is Maritime Anti-Corruption Network. There are many, many countries in the world who are using these regulations to generate corruption. So there is this watchdog which is trying to enhance integrity, fighting corruption through global cooperation and collaboration. We're also talking about the seafarers' welfare and safety through the Maritime Labor Convention. These are the ILO regulations which are now implemented. And adapting to the regulation. What about India? India is not far behind. We have a green port initiatives which has now come up for carbon neutral ports. We have cleaner fuel adoption, which is being adopted in India as well. We have digital transformation, which is happening with the port communities. Sagarmala program, very, very good initiative. So, last couple of slides before I open it up for question and answers. Yes, this challenge which is faced by the marine industry, maritime industry is multifaceted. It is addressing this very crucial issue of the well-being and effectiveness of our experienced seafarers. What is happening with these new fuels which are coming in? Without allowing time for the maturity of a particular technology to take place, this is being pushed onto the shipping industry. Yes. And those 20, 25 people who are navigating a huge ship with 20,000 containers on board, with 300,000 tons of oil on board, you can imagine the amount of stress Can you ever imagine a technology going wrong in a process industry or Mr. Gokul's industry? Never. But shipping industry being global as it is, the way the regulations are implemented around the world, it allows, unfortunately, for such incidents to happen. So what we are lacking is really competent trainers. What we are lacking is experienced seafarers, acute shortage of experienced seafarers, and seasoned professionals who retire and transit to the shore jobs. So attracting a new talent, promoting maritime career among young individuals is a big challenge. Retaining the senior officers back, providing a career progression. Yes, we are making a lot of initiatives in these areas. We are having women, we are having diversity. Yes. And India, by the way, I must tell you, India is one of the major suppliers of seafarers at the knowledge levels, at the management level. And we have the biggest companies in the world like Maersk and Anglo-Easterns and the V-ships who are sourcing Indian seafarers. Not to talk about the stress factors and the fatigue, the demanding nature of the marine work, which exposes them to long hours, isolation, and high-pressure situations. Fatigue compounds these challenges, and decision-making and alertness, and the overall well-being. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen, from me. This was a kind of a holistic presentation on the sustainability aspects of the shipping industry and our small contribution towards a sustainable planet. Thank you very much once again for this opportunity. Dr. Karthikeyan, Mr. Gokul, thank you so much. I'm open to questions.
Sir, I am Dr. Bhaskaran, sir.
Dr. Bhaskaran.
Joint Director from Industries Department, Government of Tamil Nadu, District Industry Centers.
Thank you.
Sir, I did my PhD in cluster, industry cluster like automotive, leather, so many. Now I'm doing Doctor of Science or postdoctoral. I want to know any cluster like concept is possible in Chennai, sir. So cluster means, common facility center will be created. Where all the shipping component manufacturers, they will supply. For example, L&T is here. L&T, they are doing a very big shipping in Chennai. So yes, if these small players are there, whether they need any common facility center, so government, we will fund around 50 crores, more than 30 crore as a common facility center, so that they can use CAD-CAM, finance, raw material bank, like that. Common.
Absolutely.
Like that,
absolutely.
any opportunities there, sir? I'm interested in studying that.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Or any other place in India also, any cluster concept is possible for shipping industry, because in automotive it is success. Leather, all area we have implemented cluster concept except marine. So
no, sir,
I also
did
research. L&T is giving to a lot of people, but we need some common, because they can purchase all big machinery. So we can put in common, they can come and use it for shipping industry, building for L&T. Like that, any opportunities available, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please allow me to share my experience with Gujarat. Gujarat wanted to put up a Gujarat Maritime University, which is a state university.
Okay,
and they employed, I think, Ernst & Young. And these big consulting companies, they don't have domain knowledge at all. And somehow they caught hold of me because I had an experience with the AMET University, where I was the vice chancellor. And they caught hold of me, and I was there in Gujarat. And believe me, through Ernst & Young, this is what I told them, that you want to have a Gujarat Maritime University. Your strength is in the business aspect of shipping. Do not go on the maritime training on board per se, because there are already 120 institutes. Focus on the shore, the commercial, and those aspects of shipping. And the second point to go with it is, any university or academics are not a standalone white elephant. They need to have the support of the industry. So the second point was that they must have a maritime cluster where you have the government, the academia, the industry, the research, they all come together, and the industry is served through the knowledge bank of the university. And believe me, sir, Gujarat is today a vibrant Gujarat Maritime University. They have a Gujarat Maritime cluster, which is situated in the Gift City. If you have heard of the Gift City is one of the areas which is an RBI, away from the RBI rules. It has got its own financial city where you're allowed to lease or carry on your international business. And this is what is being promoting the Indian flag, the Indian leasing, and the Indian ship owners who are flagging out their ships to Singapore are being attracted back here. So there is a Gujarat Maritime Cluster already happening. I know the person who's chairing this. And by the way, I must tell you that the second cluster, which was already declared, was the Chennai Maritime Cluster.
Oh, thank you, sir.
But nothing progress. Nothing progress, sir. Nothing progress.
Sir, we will give 30 crore for them, sir, because they can approach us. So we have promoted more than 100 cluster in Tamil Nadu. We are number one in India, promoted lot of clusters, sir. We have a micro small enterprise cluster development program, micro cluster development provided fund by Tamil Nadu. Earlier one by Government of India. So we are number one. So many case studies are happening. I also published a lot of paper in this area, sir. So I'm happy that it is coming, sir, so that that members can join with the government, sir, so that we will provide some funding.
Absolutely.
So you can also take initiative, sir. I will give my number, sir, later, or I will take number from you from IEI and I will contact you later, sir.
Sure. Pleasure. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for giving a good presentation, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Elmalai from Canada.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
I very much thank you for your erudite lecture. The depth of the content and the productivity of time, it is really excellent and exemplary.
Thank you, sir.
I was an energy auditor.
Okay.
So I know that the waterways transport is just 14% of the energy when compared to the road transport. And you say 90% of the transport is happening in maritime. And the emission is only 3%. That itself is a standing parameter that it has to be developed and then practiced. But as you say, but it is 90%, I think it has become just to a saturation level. But here, because India happens to be a subcontinent having on all three sides the waterways, even between our states, we can transport maximum goods through sea route. Is it happening? One question. Second is, so if we go to the LNG, you said 20% CO2 is reduced. So that efficiencies are rather efficiency, 20% efficiency. So now my question is, with respect to the weight classification, I think it means for ships, weight and the speed in knots, how the efficiency varies. And third question is it possible to have, say, solar generation in the ships, or the windmill also we can install on the ships, or we can have a trawler with a windmill so that it can give power for your domestic consumption. That is how we can increase the efficiency of the vessel.
Yes, thank you very much. Good questions. Like you rightly said, the emissions of the shipping is very, very less as compared. And we have a big advantage of a huge shoreline. And it makes all the sense to shift the cargo, which is moving presently on the roads and the railways, to the ship movement. It is what is called as a coastal shipping, the coastal shipping in India, where there has been a lot of development of now. It is being addressed by the center, but the changeover is not optimum yet. Shipping industry has its own challenges with respect to the treatment of the industry. Although it is a coastal industry, but see, what happens is many agencies are coming into play. We have customs regulations, we have security regulations, we have Ministry of various ministries come into play in the shipping industry. In fact, I must tell you that the last time there was a maritime summit in Mumbai, Mr. Modi made sure that the union minister of every ministry was there personally. And that time, I think Nirmala Sitharaman, she was heading commerce, and she said, what am I doing here? And then she realized that, there is so much of interaction with the commerce ministry. So there is a lot of interaction with the other ministries, and to make a case for the coastal shipping and the kind of rebates and the kind of it causes the freight rate to be slightly more as compared to it. And of course, we already have the very powerful diesel lobbies and lobbies which are operating in the country. So there are challenges, but there is a big move. Inland waterways in the country is being developed quite a lot, and Sagarmala, as we know, is the initiative which is being adopted for this. So that was the first part. The second one was what about the energy efficiency?
Yeah.
Grams of CO2
No,
per ton mile.
I just asked energy efficiency
Yes.
of
Yes.
the ships
Yes.
with respect to its classification, weight, as well as the speed.
Correct. Absolutely right. Because if you're in a transportation sector, the index for you to measure your GHG is grams of CO2 per ton mile.
Ton per mile.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. So because of the nature of the ships, they can carry huge amount of cargo. Let's say in one voyage, it can carry 300,000 tons of oil, or it can carry 20,000 containers. Because of the huge amount of cargo and the distances it can go, the gram CO2 per ton mile works out to be very, very economical.
That's I agree. You see, my question was the efficiency difference. With respect to the speed and with respect to the weight, that's how efficiency of shipping system I'm asking.
Exactly. With the speed, it goes to the cube. And that is why the ships are now going at a slower speed. There is, because if you have high speed, then the high consumption is very, very high consumption of fuel. So slow steaming is one of the initiatives which is driving the industry.
And that was a constraint that I understand that the speed as well as efficiency is inversely proportional. That is a issue. Okay. What about the local sourcing for the utilizing the renewable power, solar as well as wind?
True. A lot of, as I said, many initiatives are going on because of the IMO's direction towards the design index for a particular class of ships, which is allowing the industry to experiment. And like I've seen, there have been experimentation with putting off solar and power and the wind power, of course, supplementing the wind power with the fuel, or changing the fuel is turning out to be the best. Which is now on methanol. There are ships which are now coming with methanol, and guess who are the suppliers for methanol? The steel manufacturers. The CO2 emissions are being converted into methanol, and they are supplying. So it's working out, win-win situation. So, but as I said, a lot of developments are happening. Maybe hydrogen could be the next fuel, or ammonia. So
no, we said, as you said, this steel manufacturer,
yes.
I think the Corex gas also can be used. Corex.
Okay.
That is a byproduct of steel manufacturing, which can be used for energy generation.
Absolutely. So Tata Steel, JSW, they are turning out to be the big suppliers of methanol. Absolutely.
Yeah. They are having associate of their steel manufacturing. I think one plant in Karnataka, Jindal Tractable steel plant, that uses the Corex gas to generate power and export to the grid besides that domestic consumption.
True.
The same thing can be used here.
Absolutely.
A very nice of you, sir. You are from Amit University?
I was the former vice chancellor, the founding
Okay,
vice chancellor.
once I visited there.
Oh,
Even 15 years back, I discussed with one Mr. Saktikanta Das. Now he is the governor of RBI. When he was in
okay.
charge of waterways about this 15 years back.
Right,
But
right.
he evinced no interest on that and neither knowledge about it.
Yes, this is what happens
I'm
many
telling
times.
15 years back.
True, true.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sir, can you share your number, sir? Phone number.
Sure, sir. 98840 98840
Yes, sir.
42103 42103
98840 42
103.
103. Thank you, sir. 98840 4210.
Thank you very much, Captain Bhardwaj. Very nice speech. And then, actually speaking, the Institute of Engineers India, we had about 9 statutory days till 2023. And 22, actually, December, we moved in the council that the National Maritime Day also should be one of the statutory days. So now we are having the 10th statutory day as a in our Institute of Engineers. It is very happy to say that our present Vice President of IMEI, Dr. Bhandarkar, he was the chairman of Marine Board and I was the committee member and council member in the council. And we brought this one. Out of these things, most of the people accepted that one, and then it has been brought into the notice that one of the statutory days of our IEI. And it will be celebrated in all the local centers of all the state centers, almost all over India. It will be celebrated near the first week of April or second week of April. And we celebrated the first National Maritime Day celebration in HMT. Mr. Vakil was very helpful to us to celebrate it, and about 40 students and about members. We went there, we saw the shipping campus, and then we celebrated there. And our Guru, Mr. I.M. Rao, was the chief guest to inaugurate that session. This is for the information of our maritime people. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Is anybody having any questions with our speaker? Maybe Chairman, sir, do you have any feedback, sir? Karthikeyan, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, yes, sir. We have come to the conclusion.
Yeah.
So, you have any feedback, sir? So then we can go for vote of thanks.
Yeah, really, it's a wonderful session. I think one of my relatives working as a marine engineer. So that's why I had several stories from him also. Now it is really interesting, and within a stipulated time, he has explained very well about. And on behalf of the Institution of Engineers, once again, I thankful to him, and also express on behalf of all the committee members and members, we are expressing our sincere thanks to him for giving the wonderful lectures and celebrating the National Maritime Day. Thank you very much, sir. Now it goes to Google.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if nobody is having any questions, so
and also today we had a very good response from the participants, Google. Normally we will when we conduct the online meeting,
yes,
we have a lectures, we only have a less than 20 members. And today have a very good response. It is crossing more than 45. It is nearing touching 50. I think next lecture we will definitely cross more than 50. And thank you very much, sir. You are attracted more participants to hear your lectures.
It crossed 60, sir.
Your lectures. Thank you.
Sir, thank you.
Yeah. Today it has crossed 60 numbers, sir, today.
Oh, 60. That's great. Yeah. Thank you. Please go ahead, Google.
Because of arrival of Captain, so many people have joined it.
Yeah. Because of Captain,
so thank you.
Captain pulled many manpower, technical manpower from the students' industries. Educational institutions is attracted more. And on seeing the picture through online, you are more attractive figure also. Thank you very much. And we will meet in person also, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Please go ahead, Govil. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So with this, I think we have come to the conclusion. So I take this opportunity in delivering the vote of thanks. Definitely, I think as our past chairman Kannan sir was said, so this is a second the National Maritime Day, which we are celebrating across India. Maybe last year we have initiated because with the approval of the council, and last year we had a celebrations at our HMIT, and this year we had a session with our captain Suresh Bhardwaj sir, who is a resident director and principal of MASSA Maritime Academy. So definitely, thank you so much, sir. I think you have joined today and delivered the important session, especially on sustainability, because the entire yes. So it's very important that every people is talking about the sustainability. Definitely, we should also know about the involvement of the sustainability in the marine engineering concept. Because the marine is where I think we connected everything. Without crossing marine, we cannot have any even a small things in our house. Everything crosses in the ocean and delivers to our house. So it always plays important role, and it also plays important role in our environment. So once again, I thank our chief guest of today, Suresh Bhardwaj sir, for giving your presence and making this session so livable, and also for the given an opportunity and the importance to the younger community, especially the students community, for learning about the sustainability about the marine engineers. So thank you so much, sir. And also, I extend my thankful to our chairman, IEI TNSC, who is none other than our Karthikeyan sir. Always with his leadership, we have organized a lot of events. And maybe I think already Kannan sir has initiated in proposing one-day seminar as well as the All India seminar under the division of marine engineering with the convener of Muthuswamy sir. So definitely we need again the support of all the marine experts to be a part of it, because it is like something like a narrow department, not like a triple E or mechanical, but it's very important the sector for our nation building, as well as it is having its own contribution for our GDP. So I extend my thankful to our chairman, who's always been a support for us in making this event successful. And also I extend my thank to our former chairman, Kannan sir, as well as our former committee member Rangraj sir, who has initiated in bringing the speaker, because Rangraj sir has contacted Ravi Kumar sir. Through him, I think we could able to get this speaker today, and we had a successful session. I also extend my thankful to the committee member Muthuswamy sir, who is a marine division. Also, all other committee members of TNSC who have joined in this session. I extend my thanks to all the corporate members of IEI, and also the student community member, the faculty, and the members who are joined from abroad. Like our Elumalai sir is always a pioneer. Whatever the session IEA is organizing, will be joining from his Canada and giving his feedback as well as the question and answer session. Thank you so much, sir, for joining from even you have gone from out of Canada, India, and sitting there in Canada. Also, you are connecting with IEA is always there. Thank you so much, sir. So I extend my thanks to again our IEA staff, Adagradi as well as Rita, who always supports in handling the sessions and the backstage operations. Thank you so much. So with all the things, thank you once again to all the members and all the participants who made the session wonderful. So we all will meet again with the next Maritime Day, which will be planned in the next year of April 5th, 2025. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.